about just over £100, you know, and which when I first tried it in my usual place where I use it, it were fine. Up here the lighting's not best, and when the lighting's not best, it is shite. All you could see was a little silhouette of me slightly moving about as the darkness was coming in. People say, "Turn your light on, Daz." It is on.
It is on. The Undertaker's doing his theme music.
Yes. Oh yeah, it was just horrendous. People were thinking, "Who's Regan talking to?"
It's like he's in the dark. He's in the dark.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm talking. Guys, I'm talking to a ghost. It's okay.
Yeah. That's the first time I've ever seen a dark room speak. Just nothing happening.
Just hear from out of nowhere, fear of the dark, fear of the dark.
Ah, yes. Oh, yes.
And we are live, believe it or not, guys. Yeah, we are actually live. Hello, everyone. How you guys all doing? I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a nice evening. Got Graeme Pryce here, power to the people. Graeme, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you again.
I'm all right, mate. Thank you for asking me on.
Oh, very good. Good to have you on as always. Daily Blase, how are you, my friend? Are you excited for another Friday Frolics tomorrow as well?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, certainly am.
I heard a terrible. I heard a terrible. Before I go to Pagan, but I just heard this terrible news that a certain commentator for Talk TV got suspended.
Yeah.
You know. It must be an absolute tragedy story. I'm sure you're going to cover it in full details tomorrow.
Oh yes. He's got
himself.
Yes, he's got a secret plan though. He's going to come in. He's going to turn up at TalkSport, at Talk Radio, whatever, at Talk TV, dressed up as Julia Hartley Brewer and do her show. I'm not sure how he's going to be able to do that, but it'll be fascinating to hear your thoughts. I've got photographic proof, and it'll be revealed tomorrow.
Oh, okay, guys. So
of Mike Graham doing a Freddie Mercury on I Want Great Hope.
Oh yes, without a doubt.
Or is he looking a bit more like John Deacon? You know, grey hair and all drab. He looks. He's well presented. Let's just say that. We'll leave it at that. Okay. So definitely more like Freddie Mercury then. Definitely more like Freddie Mercury.
Without the tash.
And the with the glasses. Yes. Harry Potter glasses.
Yes.
And how are you, OneAngryPagan? Obviously, we were doing the EcoFlake show last week. How are you?
I'm all good.
Yeah, not freezing to death. I know it's living cold. That's something we could talk about for hours. Is this weather, can't we?
See, I dress properly for the cold. I have a woolen poncho on. I've got my linen top over the top of that. I've got the right clothing on. Plus, I was born in the middle of winter. My last name is Winter. I am the winter child.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
Very good indeed. Hello, everyone who's all just popping in here. We're just literally we're just consolidating and giving our condolences to Mike Graham, who is currently suspended.
Yes.
You know, sincere condolences, of course. May he fuck off forever. Anyways, no.
Yes.
You just want to say go to sleep.
Yes. As Windsor Davis would say, "Oh dear, how sad. Never mind."
Never mind.
Isn't he one of those guys that likes these cups would keep calm and carry on?
Yes.
Wrong down.
Why does it just say everyone should just say to Mike Graham, keep calm and carry on.
Yes.
He's supposed to be patriotic. It's supposed to be the big British thing, isn't it?
Well,
That's
well,
not British of you, Mike Graham, to kick up a fuss and on social media and whatnot after Femi told you all these years, all this time that he was right, and then he ends up saying on Twitter, "I win."
Yes.
Another plastic cake for your time.
Yeah. What he can do is he can rekindle his partnership with Mike Parra. I remember how them heavy days at Talk Radio where they used to do the two mics, and I was saying, let's be honest, them two, they've joined the grifter bandwagons. If I used to listen to them on Talk Sport, and there were none of this nonsense that he spouts. He's just joined the bandwagon.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Alison Keir. Yeah, he has more time to farm concrete now. It's a very passionate project of him. So absolutely,
yes.
Yeah, couldn't be more happier for him. It's a real passion of his. So
he can now live the dream.
As Phil said earlier, like he's an outrage farmer, where his outrage farming has really got him into some trouble this time.
Yes.
That's a good way.
And it's no fucking wonder.
Yeah, indeed. So, guys, I got a couple of stories, but we can kind of drift wherever we want to start the conversations. Anyway, let's talk about one of the serious ones, which really has been in the conversation today, and that is obviously the grooming gangs inquiry.
Mm-hmm.
One of the news stories that's just come up exclusively from the Guardian within the last hour or so. And this is quite interesting. I don't know how true this is, guys, but I'm just going to give you the headline from the Guardian because they just dropped this just over an hour ago, right? So the headline reads: 5 grooming gang survivors tell the Prime Minister that they will stay on the panel only if Jess Phillips remains in post.
Yes.
I read recently, a couple of hours ago.
Yes, I know people have, like, Graham's with me on this one. Jess Phillips is a fucking legend. I know people have had things to say about her, but she has stuck to her guns for 20 years.
Yeah.
If all Labour MPs were like Jess Phillips, would live in a better world.
Yeah.
My question, I was just going to, my general question is, like, where has this come from? Because obviously there was a victim on ITV that talked about how said things about her. So where is this coming from? This on Jess Phillips?
I reckon it's rumours. I actually do reckon it's rumours, and that wouldn't be the first time that rumours got rid of someone who's actually doing their damn job. Which is why I'm so glad that Ed Miliband, is still in his job despite all the fucking rumours. Because he's doing a good job. She needs to stay in her job because she's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it doesn't disrupt the whole. They want this thing done. Well, if you want a new chair, you're gonna have to go through the process of getting a new fucking chair. So you're just holding the process.
Yeah, it's going to take years anyway, and if they start trying to replace people on it, it's going to take a lot longer.
Yeah, and the one thing I've always I watched a lot of the Home Affairs Select Committee meetings when they were talking about this lot, and there are a lot of people who were all involved, and I think it could have been the woman who did the J report. One of the people who she was one of the first people who she sang her praises. Said she's been absolutely brilliant on this.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Yeah.
So I did hear that right. I did hear that right. That they would remain on the panel if she remains in her post.
Yes, 5 grooming gang survivors have told the PM that they will stay on the panel only if Jess Phillips remains in post. This is despite the fact that there was obviously 1 or 2 victims who said who basically. The thing is, I haven't actually like there was a video I played yesterday on my live stream which had a woman who was a victim and was on ITV's Good Morning Britain complaining about Jess Phillips and certain things that she said. She didn't actually specifically say that she wanted her to resign. Now I'm more than happy to be corrected wrong on this, but I haven't actually seen a victim directly saying I want Jess Phillips to resign. I haven't directly seen that from a survivor, from a victim. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen a video of someone actually saying that. But this obviously here speaks a lot about the work that she has done. And I said this yesterday. Like I generally thought, like when I was talking on the Good Morning Show, I generally was worried. I felt like that she could potentially go just because of the pressure that she's facing right now. Because it just feels like, oh, Angela Rayner all over again. That's what I was feeling with all of this. But if there are some that are standing out and saying this, and the question is, why are there one or two victims calling for questioning Jess Phillips when her background on this speaks for herself?
I think losing Jess Phillips would be a great loss to the Labour Party. Yeah, I think she's a good woman. She's a good MP.
Not only that, but is it not suspicious? Is it not suspicious that it's only a couple that are saying this? Like, I'd be a bit more suspicious of the whole process of the whole thing if it was like a majority or a near majority of the people on the panel were going to quit. But no, it's only a couple of them. It's only a few of them. It's a minority of them. So, like, why aren't the rest going then? Why aren't the rest of the victims leaving?
Yeah.
That question hasn't. I noticed that question hasn't been asked.
Do you know, I think there's something I want to say on this, and I think it might be a little bit controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think if you look at the sections of society and who they're supporting, I do wonder if you looked at these people who are complaining and saying that it's not going far enough and stuff, if you went and looked at their Facebook pages, would they be people who are posting reform stuff?
Oh, and Tommy 10 name stuff and stuff like that.
Yes. And I'm not diminishing their experiences. I'm not saying that they don't deserve justice. Of course they do. Anyone deserves justice, no matter who they vote for. But I do wonder if there is some sort of partisan element coming into
Everyone has a bias. That's very true. That's a really good point. Despite your experience, everyone has a bias.
Yeah, because I have to say it was something that cause I did go down that sort of like little bit of a rabbit hole down on Twitter and stuff like that, and looking at all the Tommy 10 name fans and the Tommy 10 name tweets, and these girls did get a lot of attention from these sort of people. So I was sort of like maybe wondering.
That doesn't again, like, if there is something wrong with the setting up of this inquiry, it needs to be dealt with. If there is actually something wrong, then it needs that, because, like, you just knew. I mean, this whole thing was a manoeuvre by the Tories and Reform in the first place as a weapon against Labour. Like this whole inquiry.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, if Labour already said they were going to implement the 22 recommendations given by the inquiry that the Tories already did and didn't actually do anything with. So all the reform, all they've been doing is trying to get something to have a go at Labour, and just something that they can keep having a go at Labour about, despite the fact that, you know, the Prime Minister, when he was DPP, actually put a lot of work into putting these people, putting the perpetrators of these crimes actually behind bars. He actually actively put a lot of work into doing that.
Yeah. I remember hearing somebody mention a tale about he basically said to people who, I think they were working in the DPP, and he basically said something on the lines, go to your mate a corner and tell them your best sexual experience, and now go to a complete stranger and tell them the worst day of your life, and see how comfortable you feel doing it. And then he said, basically, now you've got to understand how these girls feel.
Yeah.
See, the thing that really stuck out to me was, I don't know how many of you guys actually listened to the victim from the Good Morning from yesterday. I only had a clip. I only had a clip of it that I shared on last night's live stream. But the part that really triggered like something was dodgy about all this was when they made claims that Keir Starmer basically said that he said things about them or said something specifically about these victims. I can't remember the language they claimed that he used, but it was just like so unlike Keir Starmer.
Yeah,
to
he's
say
a lawyer
to say
first and foremost.
and we're talking about the Prime Minister here. Why would he say something like that about victims? And straight away, it just screamed to me something's wrong here. Like something's definitely wrong.
There are plenty of reasons not to like Keir Starmer. There are plenty of reasons not to like Keir Starmer. I completely agree with people in the chat on this. There's plenty of this isn't one of them. I'm sorry, but like he's not that type of person. I don't know him personally, but again, after seeing so much of him from the Brexit years and then him becoming leader and whatnot, like he just isn't that type of person. And I've spoken to people and listened to people who have sat down and spoken to the man himself. He's not. Yeah. He did. I mean,
it just doesn't seem like.
If he did,
the thing is,
I'd be really surprised.
This is why I find it very hard to buy from it, because it's like this is like Keir Starmer, like for all the faults that he has, like I just don't see him someone criticizing victims of something like this. It just doesn't match up his personality whatsoever. Like I just don't see it. Like I can, like if it was someone from Reform or maybe someone from the far up side of the Conservatives, you might be inclined to more believe it. But
even then,
I mean,
more polite
even that's quite a stretch, to be fair, from their politicians. To be fair, I think
even then, like Starmer, I can see Starmer being the type of person that I don't know if anyone's read the Discworld books, but he reminds me a little bit of Captain Carrot, where like he will try to say bad things about someone, but like it sounds like a kid trying to swear. Like they don't like swearing, or they don't want to swear, so they'll say something that's a little bit more innocent instead.
David McGuinness says
to people, Starmer comes across to me.
David McGuinness says, do people not understand how public inquiries work? The scope and remit of the inquiry is set before it starts. That is the rules of the game, the law.
Yeah.
The thing that really frustrates me, because I was with Labour on not having another inquiry because I just felt like let's go, like a lot was put into the last inquiry, and it's easy to point fingers and say, oh, like the Conservatives should have implemented it sooner and whatnot. My thought was like, let's not have another inquiry. Let's get after these bastards who are responsible for this, and let's get some justice. Because like I said last night, what I said last night, for a lot of these people, some of them could be politically manipulated or thinking a certain way and whatnot, but a lot of these people, they are victims first and foremost, they are victims of this horrendous and terrible crime, and they want justice. They want justice, and they want justice served, right. and they've been waiting for years and years and years for this inquiry to come to, for the last inquiry to come to an end, and then what? Nothing. And now we have another inquiry, and it's just, for me, it's just like,
it's no wonder Jess Phillips lost her shit at Lee Anderson at the beginning of the week. Did you see that?
Yeah.
God, I can't stand Lee Anderson.
She lost her shit at him, and you know what? Fucking good on her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just sick of the inquiries, and I just want the police to hunt down these bastards and bring the justice to them. I want them to have. I know it's not as simple as that. I know it's not. I understand that. I know it's not as simple as that. But I just want them to have some bloody closure.
Yeah.
They need to enact the recommendations, the 22 recommendations from the last inquiry.
Yes.
You know, like that is actually doing something. Like the inquiry is good because it's an investigation, and it seems that, you know, that a deeper investigation indeed needs to happen, apparently, because the inquiry is now going ahead. But the findings of the last inquiry still need to go ahead. The findings of the last inquiry don't counteract this inquiry.
Yeah, because like I can imagine these poor girls are bound to be angry, and they're not going to trust the police. I've heard whispers of some of the girls that went to the police to report ended up being sexually assaulted by the police themselves. So I can understand why they will not trust the police and stuff like that. They won't want a police commissioner to do the inquiry and stuff like that. And I can imagine they're angry. So
The police do enough hunting, and the infinite sick of police fucking hunting. I appreciate that, Chris. I understand. I just want justice for them.
Yeah,
I generally do.
Yeah.
You know, and I know it's not as simple as that. I know it's not. It's you know, it's not as simple as just catching them and throwing the book at them and all that kind of stuff. I know it's not. Dave McGuinness says the new inquiry isn't about race. To be fair, most abusers are known to the family. It's more likely a family, friends, or
absolutely.
members.
That's very true.
Like,
yeah.
I remember watching it was a Home Affairs Select Committee, and I think it was the woman who did the J report, and she had to listen to the absolute drivel from Robbie Moore, and he wasted his time on saying, shouldn't we have a inquiry into grooming gangs, and she basically said that, to be honest, you won't get a different reply, anything different, because they don't do anything. People like this, they don't do anything different to what we already know. So and the stuff she was saying, it kind of made sense, but he didn't want to listen. He wanted to push the case about grooming gangs, and like, I know Keir Starmer's talking about mandatory
reporting.
That's it. I will listen to a phone call from a woman earlier on, James O'Brien, and she said the thing is it don't really go far enough, and to be honest, she was more clued up, and she was a victim of this, and so she'll know more, but the thing is, they both get it's a start in the right direction.
Yeah.
The other thing, I suppose, is with this new inquiry is, like, how long is it going to take when they've already been waiting a long
7
time?
years for the last one.
Yeah. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that Labour don't get in.
Until 2030.
Yeah. Let's just say do get another inquiry. It takes another 7 years, and Labour not in, and God forbid it's reform. What do you think they're going to do?
Nothing. They won't give a shite.
No. They'll just.
They voted against the measures Labour already brought in. Like they and the Tories brought in the measures, the safeguarding measures that Labour brought in late last year, early this year. They voted against them. Yeah, it's just like it's one of the reasons. I mean,
I was reading something about that earlier on.
Yeah, don't surprise me.
It's one of the lines from Keir Starmer at PMQs that I'm like, you know what? Keep badgering that one. Keep going on that one, Keir. Stick to that line. Don't fucking go on about immigrants. Stop going on about fucking immigrants.
Yeah.
Stick to that fucking line, because that will punch through.
So keep talking about
because I've got people down here who are not political in the slightest, who have been hearing about this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, did Nigel? People come to me because I know about politics. You know, I'm into politics, and they're like, "Did Nigel Farage actually vote against like safeguarding for children?" I was like, "Yes."
Yes.
So did the Tories, and they're like, "What?" I was like,
"Yeah."
Yeah, and this is where I think a lot of people on the left don't seem to understand that normal people really don't like.
Oh yeah.
Listen to the same information than we do.
Oh yeah.
They are so much more easily manipulated. It's no wonder they got Brexit past us.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a good transition from into one of the other topics that we will talk about a little bit here. So we've seen over the last several months, since Zach Plants became the Green leader, we've seen a massive surge in Green Party membership for it. We've also seen a surge in their polling, in some polling as well. Obviously, do take polls with a pinch of salt as well. But there's been a huge surge in the Green Party, and Zach Plansky has been literally everywhere on podcasts, on news broadcasts. Recently, it's 2 days ago, another two councillors defected from Labour to the Green Party as well. Although still that there is still a high degree of there's still many people still in favour of voting reform. There seems to be definitely, aside from the left, from the left, of course, where there's a surge of people galvanised by Zach and his party, and I think it's really catching on. And one of the things that kind of struck me, I think, and I'll let you guys jump in a second here, is that you've got now the Labour government now, you've got someone on the far right that's really pulling in when it comes to right-wing politics and reform. But now you've got someone on the left, on the left. I don't know if you want to say far left. If you want to say far left, you can do it. But just to say left, yeah. And you've got someone on the left pulling really hard on left-wing politics. So now you have this situation where Keir Starmer, if he pulls too far one way, he'll lose votes on the other way here. So I'm generally curious to see what's going to happen at this budget, and if Rachel Reeves is going to introduce any kind of left-wing politics or something within the budget to try and appease these people.
That would depend on what you want to call left-wing, because technically,
that's this. I don't know. It's a grey area, really. Something that's actually going to benefit people, shall we say?
Well,
Let's put it that way.
Because, technically, left-wing economics is the state owning and doing what needs to be done, right? Well, Labour did a whole load of renationalisation in the first year of their budget, and yet everyone's going, "Oh, Labour are right wing." Right-wingers don't do nationalisation. Neoliberals don't do nationalisation. No, what Labour are centre-left economically speaking. But they are socially authoritarian or socially conservative. That is where
Reform Russia.
Yeah, that's where REFRU come in, right? Because if you notice, every now and again, like Farage will come out with what seems like a socially progressive or not left-wing, economically left-wing policy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'll see it's the whole populist thing. I like Zach. I hope he gets the Green Party up. I hope he can prove the Green Party is electorally successful before I put my faith in him. But I hope he does well. My issue is I'm stuck, right? I mistrust populism, but I also mistrust centrist politics. So
Graeme, what do you make of Zach Plansky and the Green Party? What's your view on him and their politics from what you have heard and read so far?
Do you know what? I like him. I like quite a lot of what he's said. What I do worry about is splitting the left-wing vote and allowing reform in by default. I'd like to think he will take votes from Reform and the Tories and not necessarily take votes from Labour or Plaid Cymru or SNP or wherever he stand, the Greens stand in the country. I do like him and I do support him, but my main concern is that if we split the left-wing vote amongst the Greens, SNP, Plaid Cymru, Labour, that we're going to end up with a reform government, because you'd only have to get about 30% of the public to support you to form a majority government. And I think we're heading for a reform government if we split the left-wing vote too much. So I like him, but I'm concerned. I'm concerned that it's going to split the left-wing vote too much, because I am seeing a lot of people that I used to consider to be faithful Labour voters saying that they're now going to vote Green, and I can't argue with them because they're right. They've got good points, but I'm desperately worried about the left-wing vote being split and fractured so much that were going to allow fascism through the middle.
I will say, I don't think the Greens. I don't know how much impact they're having in Wales. I generally don't think that. I don't know how much.
We'll find out after the carefully by-election, won't we, tonight?
Well, I think reform. Well, the last polling I saw was it looked like Reform were going to snatch it from the Greens because it was between those two parties. Unfortunately, that's what it looks like. I'm not saying that's confirmed. I'm just saying what the last polling I saw on it. So it's not confirmed, guys.
I would often say, Regan, but I hope you're wrong on that one.
I hope I'm wrong too from the poll. I hope it's wrong too. But it's not. But remember, they're not always accurate anyway. But
I suppose a fear of the left-wing vote being split could be allayed if Zach Polanski and the Green Party could be shown to be the ones that were going to become the next government. That's the problem. Because it's very unlikely that they take Labour's spot as the government seat. That's the problem. Like if it was nailed, if I could believe that Zach Polanski and the Green Party were the ones to take government, I would be all on board. Just
before
it's realpolitik, and I'm sorry, but if you can't win to become PM, I do hold the same worries as Graeme.
Before I bring Dave Blase in this here, here's the 2 cents here. What I don't want to happen at the general election, and I fear this is what's going to happen. I'm going to see a lot of people be basically saying you can't vote Green, you have to vote Labour to keep Reform out. And a lot of people, including myself, are not going to accept that. Because the difference this time, yes, Reform are going to be much worse, and I accept that. I accept that's going to happen, but the difference is between the last general election and the upcoming one. If that is what's going to be put on the table, that people are going to be basically told, people on the left are going to be told. In England, in particular, here they get told, no, you have to vote Labour or we're getting a Reform government. If you vote Green, you're wasting your vote. Like if that's the message. That's the message we're going to hear. You're going to get a lot of disgruntled people on the side of the spectrum.
Yeah. Tactical voting is where it's going to me, it'll be tactical voting again. Like I know,
and people are going to be angry about it.
But but instead of saying nationwide, vote Labour, not Green, to save the country, do it tactically. So in some areas, if Labour can't win, push Green or push Lib Dems. I don't care what the party is. I want Reform and the Tories to suffer.
Wales, Plaid Cymru, Scotland, SNP. Anyway.
Yeah, I like Lib Dems. If you had any chance of winning in my area, I would vote Lib Dem. I like Lib Dems. I do. Yeah.
Darren, what do you make of Zach Polanski and the Green Party? Based on what you've read, what you've heard about him, what's your thoughts on this surge, shall we say, of the left, of the so-called of the left here, of Green politics surge that we've been seeing from them?
Well, I've not really heard a right lot from him, really.
No.
I just sort of like basically, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. And then I just move on. I just move on, really. Yeah. I just see it on little clips.
It's to believe they will be able to implement anything they say because they'll never be able.
Because I just think, it's easy to say all that stuff when you're not in power. And I hear all this stuff. Oh, we've got all these members, and look at us, we're surging in members. Look at the surging membership for Labour when Jeremy Corbyn was in charge. Did he win any elections? No, he didn't really. I'm just somebody where I just think there's a long way to go before the election. And I just think we just see where we are with about a year to go, and then just go from there, really.
Yes.
Oh, I think that's a fair point. Yes, Sachs is saying a lot of the right things. He's coming across like I was listening to him with Richard Murphy, the economist, on these podcasts today. I thought it was very fascinating. I'm waiting for him to actually have someone on his podcast that is a big disagreeer of him. Like I really want somebody on there to really challenge some of his him and his party's politics. So really, that's what I generally want. Not on a broadcaster, because that's where the narrator kind of goes against him anyway. But go on.
Did you see the interview with him with Zelda from the Terrorhawks, Carol Malone, the last week?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. Zelda from the Terrorhawks. You
God,
youngsters in the chat, look her up. You'll see her.
I remember
Zelda from the Terror.
I remember Zelda. I also remember the Zelda rap episode.
Yes. Yes, that was her past. That was her past life. She was Zelda from the Terrorhawks, and only she could say to a Jewish man, "Do you know what the Nazis actually were?" You just think, you're an idiot, are you? You're just an. I'm surprised he managed to keep his sanity.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, one of the big things you got to do as a politician is keep your cool under the heated situation. And you had a very angry woman really shouting and screaming, and there he was keeping his calm and composure. And I would not been able to have done that. I would have lashed out. I would not have been able to do that.
I think Zach's been taking lessons and studying Zohran Mamdani in New York. New York, the potential new mayor for New York, Zohran Mamdani.
Yes,
that guy. Again, though, I believe him more than I have faith in Polanski at the moment, because I need to see the Greens be more electorally successful. It's more of a Marxist position of materialism, where I want to see them materially change the party's fortunes. I don't want to see these continued platitudes and continued nice words, but them not really increase their seat share, or them not, if they can get more councils across the country, that'll be a bonus.
Well, before even Zach was leader, they had over 800, and that's still an achievement in itself.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's about keeping the momentum going. I agree. I think Zach Zach said it when he had sat down with the two new Green councillors that defected from Labour. He accepts that there's still a lot of work behind the scenes to do, still a lot of work to prove themselves on a local level to people, to show that they can do it at a local level, that they can working in tandem with other political parties on a local level and that kind of stuff. He accepts that. That's something that's going to take time to do. It's obviously.
So that speaks to people like me, because I am waiting to see. I want him to do well. I know. I said the wrong things in our little conversation a couple of weeks ago, but truly, I do want him to succeed. I'm an environmentalist, for fuck's sake. I want him to succeed. But I'm stuck because I don't trust populism and I don't trust centrism. So
you want to see what he does at a local level. So keep your eye out and see what local Greens are doing in local areas, and if you're seeing stuff there, then maybe it might incline you to think more of them. And that's where they've got to prove it. It's just on the local. It's just at the local level, not just obviously talking about what's happening on the national level as well. So
I like that he's at least getting some attention. I like that he's at least getting some attention. He kind of proves that you don't have to be Nigel Farage for the media to be interested in you. He does seem to be getting some attention to the Greens, and that's sorely lacking. You've got the Lib Dems who've got over 70 MPs and they never get mentioned, and you've got Reform with 5, and they're like the wall-to-wall coverage.
Well, one thing he made a great point of was, and I was looking in the analysis piece by Sky News here. He said that what did Lib Dems do during the general election, right? What was the thing that stuck out for them that they were doing during the general election? Oh, Ed Davey was doing stunts. Now that's all well and good.
At the time of his life, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's all great for him. But what exactly is that? Okay, that's great. Well, how's that going to reduce my bills?
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's easy. Just get on one of them things on your bottom of your feet, jump off a cliff, and then get right close to the ground. For Liberal Democrats! For Liberal Democrats!
To be fair, the Lib Dems down.
Literally, as you're saying that, Dave McGuinness popping up there saying there are no young people watching they're all on TikTok now, saying, yeah, get Ed Davey on TikTok doing that kind of stuff. And then he'll say, and he'll do that video that Darren just said.
Down here, the Lib Dems appealed to. They didn't so much appeal to the. I mean, I'm betting you that the Tory, a lot of the
Tories switching to Lib Dems, yeah.
But like,
yes.
I think that's their natural thing to do. That's what they're used to doing.
Mm.
But in terms of the way that they tried to appeal to voters, it was actually more progressive than the Lib Dems. So, like, I had no qualms in voting Lib Dems here, partly because, there's the only party I can fucking vote for that would actually defeat reform of the Tories. But they're also showing more of an eco message, more of Lib Dems were one of the ones one of the parties that spoke the most about climate change during the conference. I think they actually spoke more about climate change than the Green Party conference, which does wind me up a little bit. I get why Zach's doing it, but I would like to hear policies to do with biodiversity, because I have actually tried to sit down and listen to it.
Am I right?
Not hearing a lot of stuff to do with biodiversity, sea level rise.
Am I right in thinking that? Am I right in that the Greens were mainly most of them were basically, environmental conservatives. And so I'm thinking with Zach Polanski's swerve to this type of politics, where they're going to go if they're not what you class as socialists and stuff like that.
Liberal Democrats. I can see them.
That's interesting.
It's funny you said that. Wasn't there an article from the Spectator or the Times going after Zach Polanski on something along those lines? Exactly what you were saying. I'm pretty sure there was an article from one of them, and Zach Polanski responded on Twitter.
I don't know.
I think
that could be a good trend. That could be a really good trend, because if his swerve progressive towards the progressive side of things and more social policies, turfs out a lot of the eco-friendly but socially conservative Green voters. They're not. I doubt they will go to Reform or Conservatives. I very much suspect they will do what they did here in Torbay, Devon, and actually go to Lib Dems, which is a good thing, because even though I'm not ideologically wedded to the Lib Dems, I'm not, like, compared to Reform and the Tories, they are a progressive party. So I'm more than willing to lend my vote to them, and I would be glad to see them take the eco-social conservatives from the Greens, and the Greens take more of the progressives. It's a political realignment within the parties, but I think that's actually a good move.
Yeah, because like when it comes to Nigel Farage, he has his own problems as well, because especially with his fans, for him to get anywhere near the gates of the keys for number 10, he's got to attract people who are not racist. So that means trying to basically punt some odd left-wing socialist type policies. That is not going to play well to his racist base. I've seen a lot of people. I've seen a lot of racists who are not happy with Nigel. They were for reform, and they're thinking no, and they're going to places like is it Advance and following Tommy 10 names and
go back to what I was going to say. Get these people who are going to Rupert Lowe or other people because they think that
they think Rupert Lowe's party is legitimate as well.
You may laugh. You may laugh.
I really understand about politics.
I'll tell you what. If Rupert Lowe, actually holds his seat as this party, whatever it's called, then I'll take my hat off to him. But I don't think he will.
Talking about him. Phil's last video tonight. He was saying that he's looking at working with the Tories. He's doing a deal with the Tories where he's going to take a seat on one of the one of the select committees, financial select committee or something, and
Okay.
like I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that of all people. Like I thought he would have stayed on his own, but no, was
he a Tory donor originally or something?
If this relationship between him and the Tories like goes all right in the next in the next couple of years, he could become a Tory and bring his support with him and fracture the right-wing vote.
Yeah.
At least it's taken reform.
Reform still have a lot of momentum for them, despite what's happening on the so-called left side here. There's still people saying, and we've seen it time and time again. There's videos there of people are asked on the ground like about reform, and they have no idea. Apart from immigration, they don't know any other policies of them, or they think that they're voting literally the Welsh by-election today. Like people who were asked questions and whatnot, they think they're voting. Like there was one guy saying he's voting for Nigel Farage. No, you're not voting for Nigel Farage. You're voting for Reform Russia, mate. But he thinks he's voting for Nigel Farage. They seem to have it in their heads that they're actually voting for Nigel Farage when he's not actually in your constituency. He's the MP for Clapton. There's a lot of great job of that.
Speaking of Nigel Farage, seeing as though he's now on strike, is he going to form a picket line? Is there going to be a picket line with the rest of Reform at the gates of Westminster?
Yes, I read the story about him being on strike.
Would you like to know? I don't know how many of you are aware of this. Would you like to know the last time he actually asked to ask a question on Prime Minister's
July.
question? Yes, it was. Yeah, you saw the tweet as well. Then
I was actually looking it up. A couple of days ago because what I do is I'll go on Hansard. When it comes to making a video, I will, and it goes down to this and and it goes at spoken thing and I look because it was when that time when he had his arse handed to him by Steve Doherty, having the gall to talk about national security. The Russian steward who went to America, to get America to put economic sanctions on us, and he put arse, and then Caroline Noakes absolutely kiboshed him as well. Yeah, so I looked it up there and I noticed July. I think it's something like July the 12th or something or whatever. I don't remember July, but yeah.
So he did some kind of protest thing because he hasn't asked the question, and yet it's like, mate, you're not following procedure. That's why you haven't asked. That's why you're not getting a question.
Yeah, he's going to call all MPs who come in on Monday scabs, or next time they're back in scabs, and because he'll be on picket line, won't they? Lee Anderson will be spitting him and why.
He's trying to suggest he's being hard done to, but really what's happening is he just doesn't understand how PMQs work.
No, I think he knows how PMQs work. What I think he's doing, and I think it's absolutely deliberate, he's trying to paint a picture to the public and to his voters. See, they don't want me to speak. They don't want me talking. They don't want me asking questions to the Prime Minister. Yes. They're trying to silence me. See what they're doing? That's the picture he's trying to paint here.
That's what he's doing.
I also think he's throwing a dead cat in there as well, with this situation with Nathan Gill. I think he's throwing a dead cat in there.
Did I hear he was speaking about tampons? I'm sure I heard something about Farage screaming about tampons or something.
Yeah, woke tampons or something.
What?
Alison Keir with a £5 super chat saying, to be fair, that's how Bojo got the Tories 2019, win people through what they thought were voting for, if I remember rightly. Get Brexit done was the slogan, wasn't it? That's his slogan. It was very simple. Very simple. I'll put it to bed. No more bollocks. I will get it done. Just vote for me and I will get it done. And everyone bought into it, and he did get it done. The only thing he did was he also got the worst deal ever imaginable as well. That's also what he did. Dave McGuinness, thank you.
Boris Johnson.
Thank you for that £5 super chat, Alison Keir. Dave McGuinness, thank you for the £5 super chat. Reformer done. 3 years out from an election, Nigel will have a new grit party. The Grit Party. Is that what it's going to be called?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to see.
Referee will fail, and he will.
I want to see more.
Yeah.
Just to piss off Benabi.
Platinum UK or something.
Yeah. There'll be another party for
I do
Liam.
wonder where Reform will be in 2028. I mean, they're not going to be in the same sort of situation they're in now. Hopefully, they've peaked with the local elections in May, and they'll go downhill from here. But I don't think we can guarantee it.
Also, remember that as soon as these fucking reform councillors seem to get voted in, they seem to get voted back out again. So
yes, I think you can count. I think it's 14 now that have left.
Yeah.
Hashtag save Kent. Save Kent.
Yes. See, the thing is, I have a secret informer. Mum's the word.
Well, did you also see the? I did send you the. You saw the footage from the Guardian, the video they had of the councillors. You did see that, didn't you?
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, I sent that to you, didn't I? Yeah.
Somebody on the inside.
Ken Karen or something.
And I'm just, I was talking about it. I was like making a comparison to like one of these like roundtable chats here, and it's just like she was so rude, and I'm just like thinking, you're supposed to be politicians here, you're supposed to be running a council, and here you are kicking and screaming the language that you're using on people, and it's just like what's like. What's the matter with you people?
She sounded like someone I would have grown up with.
I've got to say,
like she got pissed off with all the gobshites and has finally lost her shit.
Yeah. And Dean Burns got a rod up his bottom.
I've made an effort to try and reach out to reform voters. I know I call them stupid, and I know I call them morons and stuff, and I can't help it. It's just the way I am. But I have made a little bit of an effort to reach out to reform voters. But all I ever get, the only comments I ever get from reform voters are either insulting, full of lies, or total nonsense. I never get anything I can actually engage with and talk to them about. They just miss it. I mean, I feel bad saying it, but they are generally, I think 90% of reform voters are just people who are misinformed by the media.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kirsty, for the super chat there. Farage asking questions about how he can't ask questions.
Yeah,
what's that about not being able to ask questions, Farage?
Yeah, it's one of my favourite. Yeah, usually one of my favourite things is, after I've talked about the things that have been happening over the 14 months, and they usually get irate, and then I just say, well, can you name me 5 policies that you like about reform? And not one of them can be immigration. And then cue the rabbit in the headlight look. Rabbit in the headlights look, and then no, that's not fair. You're just you're loony lefty and all that.
The famous video of the guy in a Union suit, the Union Jack suit, where he was asking voters, like saying he's a reform voter too, like what are some of their policies, and they struggled to give answers. And then when they said about cutting taxes and all these kind of things, it's just like, no, that's not what they want to do. And he said that like the things they want to do is want to cut taxes for the wealthy. They want to privatise our NHS. They won't say it publicly, but they want to privatise our NHS. They want to do that. They want to turn us into tax haven. They want to turn Britain into a tax haven for the rich as well. They want to. They just want to get rid of everything that's state owned, pretty much, as well, because they want everything all run by private companies.
Let's be honest, let's be honest, their policies are confusing. They want to cut the welfare, but yet in the same breath they want to do away with the 2-child benefit cap. Don't mix, do they? You can't do both.
That's the appeal to left. That's the appeal, though.
They said 180. But they said, sorry, we're all talking over each other here. Sorry, but they was it 180 billion pounds? They say they're going to do a tax cuts or something like. And it's like, where did you get that figure from? Oh, from a think tank. And then the think tank actually stepped back. Or was it? I don't know if it was. And then one of the think tanks on something that they said stepped back and saying, "Oh no, that figure's not exactly accurate. We can't endorse that figure." But they still kept going with that figure, even though they didn't have any evidence to kind of back it up. You know?
That's what I said earlier. Like the voters that reform are. If you look at the more in-depth polls, you can see the types of voters from that reform are taking, and the only types of voters that they're taking from Labour are those that are socially conservative.
But he speaks for the people, says Kirsty Hamilton. Yeah, he's very good at speaking to ordinary people. But when
he tells it like it is.
He's a tough.
Yeah, that's another one I hear.
He's a fucking tough.
Yeah.
But he's also everywhere on social media. He's everywhere on social media. It's not just papers and that. He's everywhere on social media. Like you can't go on TikTok without him popping up somewhere. You can't go on Twitter without him popping up somewhere. Like he's constantly in the media, constantly in the limelight, constantly trying to get everyone's attention 24/7. And this is why I think where Zach Polanski needs to try and other political parties need to try and do things like that, try to get into those kind of areas. Need to dig more into them. Labour's, I think we've heard it and said it a million times about how piss poor Labour's communications has been when it comes there. And it's just like not good enough. I mean, even some of the, I remember like in the run up to the general election, they had this was it an AI video? I think they had of I can't remember what it was. It was like all these different animals saying that they're going to do this, do that, and it was a really, really bad AI video. I can't remember what it was. Oh god, it got quite scrutinised quite badly. Labour had to take it down as well. But it's like they're not really connecting as well with the youngsters as well as they should do. I would say when it comes to the social media side of things. But having said that, though. Just let me finish this point there. Just finish this one point now. Having said that, though, even though there are some young reformers who are turning to Reform UK, a lot more of them are turning to Greens than they are to Reform from the looks from some pollings out there. Is what you're saying. But it is too early to say on that. Go on, Graeme, and then you can jump in.
Can I just say, the last job I had, I worked in a pub, and there was about 50. It was quite a big place, and there was about 15 staff. I think like a couple of like other rooms and stuff that they used for functions and things. And there was about 15 staff, and I would say maybe 9-10 of them were under 25, and none of them were into Reform or the Tories. They were all really even-handed people who understood like trans people, and they understood a lot of the issues that are going on in the day. I was surprised by how political a lot of them were. I expected a lot of them to be a bit daft and not really know much about it. And I had so many conversations about politics, and none of them were right-wing. This is why I've said in some of my videos, I think the upcoming sort of youth, They will eradicate most of the right wing in the next 20 years, but we've got to suffer the consequences in the meantime, haven't we? But most young people are not right wing, and most young people think Reform UK are just a bit silly and ridiculous. From my experience, anyway, it might vary in different areas, but that's how I've the experience I've had of young people.
I think the danger of Reform is, can they bring over enough of the plus 50 vote? Because, as I'm pretty sure we all know, that is the most influential block in this country. But still, the over 50 block is the most influential voting block in our country, and it has been for a long time. Even at the last election, it was still the most influential voting block.
Yes.
Down here, I noted farmers who were not going to vote Tory for the first time. And they were utterly disgusted with the shit that was coming out of Nigel Farage's mouth. So...
nice to hear.
I can see why some Labour strategists have gone, look, we can't just do the progressive thing, because a big, the most influential part of the voter base is not progressive. It's socially left. It's economically somewhat left, but it's socially authoritarian. They want socially authoritarian things. So I think it's a big mistake from Labour to do that. That's why I left the fucking party. But I can actually see the logic behind that. And as much as that sounds like a leftist giving in, it's a case of seeing reality as it is. The political reality as it is the most influential voting base is the socially conservative, over 50 age range. I'm sorry, it just is. And this is why I think that Zach Polanski would do really well in dragging Labour left, but not completely alienating himself. Saying we will work. I'd be nice to see him say that they would work with the Labour Party on environmental policy, for example.
I think they've said that I think they've said they've been willing to work on things.
I haven't heard him say it. I haven't personally heard him say.
Not him directly, but the party has in the past have said, like, they've supported policies, obviously, that the Labour government have said. It's not like the Conservatives where they'll reject everything. It's more like, I would say it's more like the Lib Dems right now, who have been in the third party wheel, where they're willing to work with Labour on certain policies. I think the Greens are at that ballpark, but they're not. But
I don't want to be.
I think it's fair to say that Zach obviously right now is just trying to grow his party.
Yeah, that's fair enough, isn't it?
Like I said, we're looking at. People can tell me that we're gonna get. It's certain at this point we're gonna get a referendum government in the next election. No, it isn't. You can scream this all you like. It is not certain that we're going to get a reform.
I still think a hung parliament. I still think it's going to be a hung parliament.
I think it'll be a slim Labour win, actually. A slim Labour win.
Judging from what I've heard in polls, that people still prefer Keir Starmer over Nigel Farage to be Prime Minister.
Yes, I've seen polls like that as well on the YouGov surveys that I fill in.
Yeah.
And if that many people out there are willing to vote on what they think, if the amount of people out there that we suspect are actually vote on the fact of not on their MP but who they think is going to be Prime Minister instead, then I don't get me wrong, I'm not seeing Labour coming through with another majority. It would be an absolute miracle.
Not like this one now.
But
it's important to stress as well that a lot of the constituencies they won at the general election were slim majorities because of Reform and Conservative splits as well. So there was a lot of that. There was a lot of splits there that helped to take Conservatives out of a lot of seats that they were still gaining. So there was still a huge majority of people, even though I think they're absolutely out of their mind, still voting Conservative. There was still a huge majority of areas where the Conservatives could have won and should have won if it wasn't for Reform. I think even Liz Truss, just as an example, I think if it wasn't for Reform, even despite the fact she did do no campaigning whatsoever in her area, she still would have kept her seat if it wasn't for Reform, for example.
Like, funny to watch one at Liz Truss.
It's just like these are tight, and Labour lost. Labour as well. Like there were some Labour seats that could have been lost at the general election as well by close margins. Obviously, that's because of what's happening was the whole Middle East situation as well. But it's not comfortable for Labour, and I'm pretty sure Labour are aware it's not comfortable for them. A lot of these seats, and that's where, like, just because they have this big majority, like, to say that it's not possible for them to lose that majority, they'll be out of their goddamn mind, because a lot of them were very, very tight. Yeah, but that's the worry, is that they may be getting too much. Worry is that they may think that they are comfortable because they won so many seats. But what they don't realise is that voters and people change in the space of 4 years. Yes, that does happen. We also have to remember is that within that 4 years is that A lot of them vote. A lot of my feeling is that at the last general election is that a lot of people voted Labour because they wanted the Conservatives gone, not because they wanted a Labour government.
Of course, yes.
Or they voted. Lib Dem. Yes, what's the analogy that Max always uses? The voting for the incumbent. I think is the analogy he was using. And so. Yes, thank you. Sorry.
Do you think, just out of interest, this is just basically putting it out there, just say when it comes to the next election, let's just say for argument's sake that Labour say, if you vote us in, we'll do a referendum into going into the European Union. Do you think that will be a vote winner? Just out of interest.
I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's a don't know answer right now.
Because I understand why they don't want to.
Honestly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. I think there's a lot of reform voters who have pinned themselves to Brexit as well, and they will vote reform because they hate anybody who criticises Brexit.
Yeah. Because
I'm not 100% sure on that though, because I think there are a lot of reform voters. I think there's quite like, let's be clear. I think it's fair to say, I think we can all reasonably agree that the majority of reform supporters are those who, on the basis of immigration, and there are reasonable grounds in some of these people who feel that immigration has affected their lives deeply, on personal level or working lives and whatnot. But we also know that's tied to austerity, tied to the destruction of their communities and livelihoods over the 14 years of the Conservatives as well. That's tied to that as well. But I feel that immigration is something that's the key thing, is what's driving people towards reform. Russia, driving them towards Nigel Farage's political party. In the issue of Brexit, we know that polling has been showing that more and more people regret their vote and wish they had remained. We know that. There's also been some... Yes, that's a good question as whether it's enough as well. But there has been some people who not thinking about Brexit when they join supporting Reform UK. Now, if I don't know how many Reform voters know that they are a party that wants to move further away from the EU rather than closer to it. And I think, if people were put on the spot being told that if you vote for Reform UK, we're going to have we're never going to have closer relationships with the EU. I think that will question a lot of people's their loyalty. Yeah, I don't think it's a case that I generally think it's a case that a lot of Reform voters don't know that. I don't think it's I think it's more because their mindset is more on immigration than anything else when they think of Reform UK.
I have no issue with it.
Yeah. Because the reason why it just popped into me, because we've noticed over the last week or so that they've basically brought up Brexit, haven't they? The reason. Now I understand why they don't. They use the 14 years of Tory rule, because if you try and blame Brexit for all your ills now, I suppose in a little bit of a way, you're going to be blaming those who voted for Brexit as well. Say it's your fault that we're in this mess as well. And I don't think they want to do that, do they? They do not want to do that. But
that's a very good tightrope,
And I'm just thinking, just say when it comes to maybe when it's coming close to calling for an election, I noticed that they've started bringing Brexit into it, and when they start talking about immigration, these boats coming over, just say, "Oh, you mean the Farage boats?" We didn't have this problem before Brexit, did we? Yeah. We didn't have this problem before Brexit. Yeah. Remember when the Farage boats weren't a problem? So it's just a little thought out there. Just say for a year before the election, they start bringing it up, the Brits start mentioning the Farage boats. And have you noticed things have not worked out well, because it'll be well over 10 years, won't it? And so, interesting.
Would that do any good though if the EU tell us that we're not ready for any more nations to come in right now?
Let's just say it says 60-40.
I think realistically, it's fine. I think realistically about the Brexit prospect, and many people have pointed this out as well as Phil Morehouse. We understand that that we understand. I would say that voters understand. We understand that you can't just simply turn around to the EU and say we want to go back in. It's not work like that.
We need to fulfill
we
our
all
end of the
understand that it's not. It's a long process. Yeah, there's that as well. That's been pointed out as well. And I don't think it's going to, I don't know when we're going to rejoin. I do believe we will. I just don't know when.
No, I don't.
And I don't even know if we'll even have a UK by then, because I generally believe Scotland will be independent before we rejoin the European Union. I think that's more realistic than us rejoining the EU personally. But I just think there's the European Union does have its fractures right now, because obviously there are nations that are serving the interests of Russia within the European Union, which would also be against us, stopping us from rejoining as well. So there'll be those barriers as well. Pretty sure we can.
Considering Brexit was a Russian project, considering Brexit was partly a Russian project as well.
Oh yeah.
So the question is obviously, like, I don't think they can come out and say we have to rejoin, and also it goes against what they were originally saying in a referendum in the manifesto. But they didn't offer that in the manifesto. But then again, people will say, well, there's a lot of policies that the Labour government is
introducing in the manifesto next election. But for the next election,
I just don't see this Labour government coming out and doing that.
But what if they did?
I think if that was in the plan,
if they did, I would be. My first question is what are you up to? What's your game here? Why are you saying this? This doesn't. Where's this angle come from? That would be my question. It's not why are you asking the question. My question is what made you make the decision in the first place?
I think if
they
they're going to do it,
more my question.
Yeah, they could easily just say, "Go on."
If they are going to do it, it won't be this. They'll try to win this election, this next election on something else, and then bring up the Brexit question.
And here's the other thing as well.
I think they want to get the repairing of the country started first, and then once it starts getting, the evidence is already showing that the fixing of the country is going a lot more difficult because of Brexit. The more and more that's made evident, I think the longer the time that Labour give it to so they can show, look, it's not working. And we've been saying for a few years now that Brexit hasn't been working. As a government, we've been saying if say come the next after the next election, if they're still in government, they turn around and say, look, we're going to go for we're going to push to become closer to the EU so we can go for a rejoin. I don't think they'd be able to do it this one, because I think they're more concentrated on trying to repair the damage of 14 years of Conservative rule.
The thing is, a part of me also just feels like, as well, you might be playing into, because obviously the Labour government believes in the union and whatnot. But if you're thinking at it, from an SNP's point of view or from a Plaid Cymru's point of view, I don't know if that would benefit them or not, but how much it would benefit them if Labour were to come out and say we will rejoin the EU. Would that be, I'm generally curious to my Scottish friends in the chat. Yeah. If I'm generally curious what they would say in the chat with regards to this, in regards to them wanting wanting an independence from the UK, how they would react to it.
Are you saying that if Labour were to do this, would the Scots and the Welsh lose? Would the Scots and the Welsh indie movements lose support because Labour have actually decided, we are going to go back into the EU?
I don't know about that, but I do think it would raise some. I don't know if they would lose votes. I don't know. I can't say that. That's why I want people in the chat from those countries to speak for them.
That's what I was asking. I was asking if that was part of the question
for themselves, because it's not. But honestly, I don't think so. But it doesn't make me raise raises of questions there.
No,
Scott says, I disagree with you, Regan. The majority of Reform voters aren't clued up and just want a political change. I respectfully, Scott, I disagree. I think not every Reform vote. There are some Reform voters out there who I generally think just don't fully understand everything in politics. I don't think. I think it. I think it. I think, and yeah, and I think it's very important, Scott. And I understand where you're coming from. It's very important not to just basically brand every single Reform voter racist, homophobic, and racist pieces of shit that don't care about this country or care about our values or anything. It's that there are people there who legitimately have genuine concerns and are just misinformed and misguided. I generally believe that. You can't come from this one point of view of dismissing Reform voters, because it's not going to help. It's not going to help anyone in this situation. All we're going to do is just going to. All it's going to do is solidify their positions. So just coming out and call.
Well, you know what? I agree, but at the same time, I can't forget the fact that a couple of weeks ago, while doing research for the video, I saw somebody who was chanting about reform on the streets of London with Tommy Robinson, who had the SS tattooed on the back of his neck, a knuckle duster tattooed on his face, and a swastika tattooed on his thumb, who was also wearing a Union Jack with a poppy on it. It's like, that is not a sensible, informed person. That's an idiot.
But we do know that plenty, and know this via detailed polling, that a lot of the support the Reform are getting are coming directly from the Conservative voters, right? And I know plenty of Tories. I don't like them particularly, but like I know them, and that they're not stupid. They just have really wrong biases. But like that doesn't mean that they are necessarily. If you're gonna call Reform racist, call the party racist, call the party misogynist, call the. But don't do it to the members, because you might this is where I annoy people. Will annoy everyone by once again saying, don't be absolutist.
Yes,
that's a good way of putting it, because obviously they try to claim that all asylum seekers are absolutists when one person was guilty of a sexual crime at the Epping Hotel, and they wanted to brand every single asylum person at that hotel the same, and that's what it is. And we all know that it's not the same. And this is the exact same line you have to take. Yeah, you can't say that about all Reform voters. You just can't. I know what people are thinking in chat. They're thinking, yeah, but Regan, you can't talk to these people. They're not willing to talk. That's why I understand that. That's why we have to.
Yeah, some of them are.
I get that. I get how people's frustrations are, but we can't dismiss these people. And because the polls are saying that, and yes, obviously polls can change, voters can change their mind. There's still a long way to go between now and the general election. But we have Welsh, Scottish, and local elections coming up. Welsh elections. We've got Scottish elections. We've got English local elections going to be coming up, and that they will speak. Although they're not the general elections, they'll speak a mind of how people are thinking and feeling in some of those areas about certain political parties.
You've got to think about Trump. Think about a lot of the people that voted for Trump last year, right? I'm telling you now, a lot of the people who voted for Trump didn't want a lot of what we're seeing right now. They wanted their lives made better, and he promised them he'd make their lives better. That's what they wanted. That's what they voted on. Don't get me wrong. There were plenty of people that voted for Trump, voted for Republicans, voting MAGA, wanting the racist, anti-immigrant bollocks, but a lot of them, a good portion of them, just believed the message of he will make our lives better. And that is genuinely the case, and it's the same here, and it's the same in many other democracies.
Yeah.
And that's just what I want to say. We live in a democracy.
Good morning.
As flawed as it is, we still live in a democracy, you know. Like,
Graeme, just 1 second. Just Graeme, I don't know if you're still there, Graeme. I can't see your screen at the moment. I know you fell out, and I brought you back in. I don't know if you're there or not. But I'll just leave you there, and hopefully you'll pop up there. I just want to say thank you, Stephen Mon, for the 20 New Zealand dollars. It's good morning or Friday morning over in the New Zealand where he is. Thank you so much for that, my friend. I hope you are doing well. It's good to see you there. I know you can't always be there for the live streams because of the time differences, but it's always good to see you there. Yeah, I can hear you, Graeme. I don't, just so you know, I don't know if he can hear us or not, but
yeah,
we can hear you.
I've plugged me. I've had to unplug. Yeah, I've had to unplug me. I've had to replug my charger into my computer, and everything's gone off. I'll be with you as soon as I can.
Oh, no worries. We're quite the chilled out lot here.
It's all right. To be fair, like we haven't got to. We've been going. Yeah, to be fair. So let's have a look and just see what some people have been saying in the chat. You're making no sense. Most apologists don't, says Chris Fisher. He also says you cannot say a party with bad ideals being endorsed doesn't mean the folks endorsing them don't agree with the ideals. I'm not saying all people, Chris. I think it's really important to stress that not everyone who supports the party or is a member of a party understands every single policy, every single thing about that party. There's a lot of people who are in favour of reform that aren't even reform members, that are just thinking of voting reform just because they like what Nigel Farage thinks and says, but they don't know every single policy that he does because they feel about immigration. It doesn't mean to say that they agree with some of the other policies and decisions that they want to make. And you know, a prime example, I go back to that video about the guy in the Union Jack who went and asked reform voters about their policies, and they didn't have a clue about them. And I think, you know, are there some that understand those policies? Yes. But there are some that there are going to be people out there that don't. And that's not just reform. That's all parties. Some people who are Labour, Conservative, Lib Dem, Green, not everyone understands every single party or policy. Like I remember, I think someone was can't remember who, but someone was saying to me about how they were critical someone told me in the chat about how they were critical of the Green Party because they were making, I think it was they were, I can't remember the full story, but basically they were critical of the Green Council because they weren't taking on board issues that he personally had, even though their policies were designed to help most people, but not help his certain situation. I can't remember what the story was. Unfortunately, that person is not in the chat, but reform hasn't got a lot of deep well of policy. They're very clear. They are very clear on their goals. They are very clear on their goals, but they're just not making it very clear to their members what some of they are, because they want to keep it quiet.
The average person doesn't listen to politics. They don't. I'm sorry. Like, it's one thing. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. It is healthy to be somewhat to be cynical to a point. Being overly cynical then can lead you down paths where you think everyone who votes for some leads you down absolutist paths. I'm sorry, it does, and I'm not an absolutist. And apologia, who is like, no one is being an apologist for any party on this podcast. I mean, I've had people trying to call me a Labour apologist. I'm not even a member of the fucking party anymore. Oh, yeah, I have lambasted them on my fucking channel, and yet I still get people going, "Oh, you're a Starmer apologist. You're a Starmerist." I'm like, I don't even like Keir Starmer.
Billy Kershaw. Billy Kershaw says, "I'm here tonight to slag off all the Royals, all of them." Well, we can slag off the Royals if we really wanted to. I mean, I suppose my first thought of when I think of the Royals is, why the fuck is Prince Andrew not in jail? Well, we know why. But I suppose a good question is, are the Royals finally gonna, like, when are they finally gonna, like, really start to lose support? Because they obviously, when the Queen died, I think a lot of people lost the love and affection of the Royals. I think it's fair to say. And I think as time has gone on, more and more people are kind of gotten, like, a younger generation are seeing that a lot of money is being poured into the Royals and how much money that they have, and it's just like, they're frustrated, especially when they see all the gold and all the things that, like it, and especially the younger generation who aren't getting the benefits and perks in life that their parents and grandparents have.
Yeah.
I think, and then they see the royals, and it kind of it stings to them.
That reasoning is.
Go on, what are you saying?
Like the peasants result.
Yeah.
We've had numerous peasants revolts who rebelled against the barons and the monarchy because they were, because of the inequality, essentially. But they didn't. We still got a monarchy. I mean, we got rid of our monarchy, and the person that we replaced them with led a slaughter in Ireland. So, yeah, like it's all well and good to want to get rid of the monarchy, but you damn well have to make sure you have to have the right replacement, because we did get rid of our monarchy, we did, and that didn't go so well, so we brought it back.
Oh, we've lost
I'm a
Graeme
Republican.
again.
Graham's still having problems, guys. Unfortunately, yeah.
I'm a Republican. I want to see the monarchy gone, right? But like, I also see myself as still a part of the minority in this country. In that case, like the majority still, even if they don't love the royals, there's like a cultural thing there where people are proud to have a king. It's weird as fuck. I don't understand it. But that's how it's been explained to me by the majority of people who aren't even.
I totally accept that premise of culturalism, and it's like part of British. It's part of what the whole United Kingdom is, that we have these royals and we have this sort of prestige about us, the kingdom and all that kind of stuff. And it resonates with it still resonates with some people. But I think as time is going on,
not just some, it's a lot of people.
Well, it's
not just some.
It still resonates with the people. But I think as time is going on, I think that is slowly losing its touch.
Yeah.
And I think the first step of that touch being lost was the Queen passing away, because before the Queen, I don't think there was too much people shouting abolish the monarchy before then. As far as I'm aware, I wasn't too much aware of it. It wasn't until after the Queen died that really there was more galvanizing of it. I would say more after she went, because she was very, very much beloved by everyone.
Yes. And who killed her? Liz Truss. Yes.
I'm sorry for the belly laugh, but I couldn't help it.
Who else did
Queen?
Didn't she kill the Pope as well?
All about JD Vance.
Oh no, that was JD Vance. Sorry.
Oh yeah, the couch stalker.
Yeah.
Dear. Speak. I suppose we could touch a bit on America. I want to get Graeme back in before we wrap up here. So, how do you guys feel about Donald Trump knocking down the parts of the right wing to do so? He hasn't got permission from local authorities whatsoever in Washington, and it's decided just to. And this is hold on. This is actually also. He said that he wouldn't touch the actual structure, and that the building that they're building, the ballroom, is because the previous one only holds up to 200 people. The one he wants to hold up to 900 people here. So yeah, let that sink in.
Also,
hang on. Is this to do with the actual White House building?
Yeah. You haven't seen the building.
This would be the most damage done to that building since we fucking gave the Americans a reason to call it a White House in the first place. Because if anyone doesn't know, we the British are the reason why the White House is called the White House, because we burnt it and they had to paint it white to cover up the fire damage.
Yeah, he's not leaving.
He'll die.
Yeah, if anyone wants to see a picture of the construction work, you can have a look there from Press. Literally, like the work is supposedly to finish before Trump's term ends as well. So it's not like that if by some miracle did the Democrats get back in at the next election, the next presidential election, which we don't.
Well, there won't be
just don't know.
elections.
It's predicted with the
I don't think
elections.
there'll be any
But
elections.
if by
He's
some
not
miracle
leaving.
it do, the damage will be done anyway.
Yeah.
Didn't he also
He's not
concrete
leaving.
over the Rose Garden?
Has it
Didn't I
concreted
hear
it?
something
Right, hold on a
like
second,
paint
guys.
over, concrete over the
Graeme!
Rose Garden?
Are you there, Graeme?
I am. I do apologise. Can you hear me?
Regan area.
Loud and clear.
Sorry about that. All I did was
can hear you, yeah.
power cable and
Oh,
everything
good,
went
good,
mental.
good.
Oh no, it is. What do you think about the? What do you think? Anyway, Graeme, what do you think of our Trumpelthinskin demolishing the West Wing?
Well, there's only a few words I can say, isn't there? Imagine if Biden did that. What would MAGA do if Biden did that?
Oh, Barack
Oh, they'd be rioting in the.
Why have you done that? Why have you damaged the White House? Why have you?
Can you not? You don't.
Oh,
Please don't shout like that. Oh my God, you're going to scare the chat away, Pagan. Please.
Yeah. Or even worse, what if? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
They'd have had kittens, wouldn't they? Oh, dear.
There would be endless coverage of Fox News saying, look at this destructive, abominable man destroying the fabric and foundations of our White House.
Exactly.
And then Donald Trump is doing it. Oh, look, guys, he's building a new ballroom. How exciting.
Yeah. Well, you remember Fox News having the fit of the vapors when he were wearing a brown suit.
Oh, dear.
No, I despise him. I didn't think it could
Trump will change.
anybody more than Boris Johnson. But
Yeah.
I hate Donald Trump and Nigel Farage more than Boris Johnson, which it's frightening to think I live in a world where Boris Johnson is the third most dickheady person who exists in my life.
Yeah.
He did remind me of how much I hated him when he was when I covered a bit of the COVID inquiry, sitting down with him, and I was just like, "You fucking muppet! You should be in prison for what you've done."
I do
Yes,
remember.
sure. Well said, Regan. Well said.
Yes, I do recall. I don't remember. That's all you ever heard from him at the COVID inquiry.
Yes.
Oh dear.
And then we had a little titchy short stuff in there. I do recall. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Materially speaking, this is an interesting question actually. Materially speaking, who has done more damage to this country, Nigel Farage or Boris Johnson? Now, that's not as simple a question as it might seem.
I would say no.
I don't know how to answer that.
I would say Nigel Farage based on his influence.
Yeah.
The reason why I say Nigel Farage is because he has influenced politics in such a way that has damaged traditional politics in the UK, that has forced Boris Johnson and the Conservatives to drift in the direction that he is in. And that is also aligned us to see the kind of language and rhetoric that we see on a regular basis in our media, as well as on social media. It's because of Nigel Farage, even before the Brexit referendum, it's because he steered us towards that direction more than anything. Yes, Boris Johnson, as Prime Minister, caused tremendous amount of damage, cost lives, made stupid mistakes, and should be in prison for some of his, in my opinion, for some of the things that he has done. But Nigel Farage is the reason that the politics in general in the UK has stirred in the direction that he is in.
This is why I said materially speaking, because Boris Johnson is quite literally responsible for the deaths of more than 200,000 people. Is Farage? That's my question. Materially speaking. That's why I said.
Is he responsible for the deaths? No, but is he responsible for pushing?
I did. This is why I said it's not as simple. It's not
I know. I feel a bit like that.
Things.
No. I know what you're getting at, yeah. It's easy to say that he's responsible for those deaths, but is he, or is his whole administration responsible?
Well, he was the one, he's said plenty of times that people get pissed off when Boris Johnson was ordering from the top.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, it's a bit like
guys. I think we might have to wrap up in a minute because. Sorry, guys. We might have to wrap up in a bit because I just saw the screen jump. I think it might be my computer from my end there. I'll let you guys answer. Let me just say thank you for the £5 super chat, Alistair Keir there. Sorry, Reganelite Westmonger passed laws to protect the MPs from criminal action from COVID mistakes before they started COVID planning. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Thank you for that super chat. I much appreciate it. I'll just let Graeme and Daily Blase finish on that question. Graeme, you first, and then on it, and then Daily Blase. Go on, Graeme.
I think
Graeme,
you're right in that Nigel Farage is the worst because he's having a continuing effect. And the man is a fascist. I don't think Boris Johnson is a fascist. I think he's just an idiot and a clown who wants to be the leader of the world. Whereas I think Nigel Farage has dark intentions and is a bad person. Whereas I think Boris Johnson is just a ridiculous person. So I think Nigel Farage is probably worse, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably agree.
What do you think, Darren?
Yeah, I would. I think I'd probably agree because at the end of the day we could all say, but let's be honest, if people didn't vote these people in, they won't be in the position to do the damage that they've done, would they really? We get the government we deserve, don't we? But yeah, as I say, when it comes to influence, I would probably agree with on Nigel Farage because he's been doing this for years and years and years. You know, pushing the Tories into positions where well, you would never thought they would. Just like as I say, you've got a well, I nearly said a minister, but honest Bob, you know, saying I would. Walking around wherever, and I didn't see a white face, whatever. Any other MP that said that, they'd have been out the door. Now you've got this other one. Is it Katie Lamb or something? She's pushing it even worse, and you think, yeah, my God, this would be a party where Enoch Powell would probably be in a prominent position out it. He'd be thinking, my timing was just badly wrong. Can you imagine me being in this party now? He'd have been having absolute field day, wouldn't they? Jesus Christ.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, I despise Boris Johnson, but I think it's Nigel Farage that has dragged the Overton window to the right rather than Boris Johnson.
So the thing
I
is,
agree.
Robinson.
Yeah.
I agree,
guys. Yeah, guys, keep getting. I think the my side is probably really have to say that, so I have to stop there, guys. As much as I want to keep going and going and going on this, I really want to, but I think with Graeme getting cutting out, and I think my screen has been jumping a few times. I hope you guys heard everything that we were saying in the last 10 minutes, because I know I can see my screen's flicking a few times on my side. So hopefully you guys heard the last bits of our last couple of minutes of our conversation. But some of you guys were really generous tonight. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate all you guys' comments. Obviously, we couldn't get to everyone's comments, but I really do appreciate all you guys contributing to the conversations that we had as well. And we will be having another roundtable next month. I'm going to have David McGuinness, who has been, I think he's still lurking in the chat, will be on for next month's one. So do join us for that there. Your drinking partner. And at the moment, I'm planning to have Jenny for the one in December as well. So looking forward to having Jenny back on as well. But Graeme Pryce, Power to the People, thank you very much for coming on, guys. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel at Power to the People, Graeme Pryce. The link is in the description. Make sure you do check out his great content. Do you have another 5 reasons why someone is a bastard or an asshole coming up anytime soon, Graeme? A twat.
I'm doing Nigel Farage again.
You're going to do Nigel Farage again? Oh, there we go. Hooray. There we go, guys. There you go.
That'll be an hour-long video then, won't it?
There we go.
Still get occasional.
There we go, guys. There you go, guys. So there's a bit. you got yourself a really good video to look forward to there from Graeme Pryce. There we go. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to Power to the People. Daily Blase, can you tell us all about the live stream you've got happening tomorrow?
Yes, this is my live stream where I just let things let it go. Anything happens, and usually does. Usually, me being professional to the fault, you just spend 5 minutes talking with a mic off and acting and sounding like Norman Collier. But we just have a good giggle at the idiots that we have running the world or whatever. A bit of gallows humour, because in this present time we need it, and then hopefully later on tomorrow, if not, it'll be Monday. Got a video about Nathan Gill and what's been. So that'll be interesting.
It will be interesting.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
Can I just say something? If you find politics a bit depressing and it annoys you all week, tune into Daily Blase's Friday Frolic, and it makes politics all seem light-hearted and fun, and we have a great laugh every week. It's always worth a watch.
Yes. Well, I am the Nick Abbott of live streams.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Guys, do check it out. I'm no professional. I still have my problems anyway. YouTube.com/Daily Blase. Link is in the description, guys. If you're not subscribed to Daily Blase's YouTube channel, check out his live streams on Friday Frolics, and of course videos that he drops as well. Some very good stuff as well there. And finally, OneAngryPagan, my eco show partner as well. We actually have got we've got a new thumbnail and we've got an intro video for our show coming up next month as well, haven't we? Which I've shared with him, and we're very excited to share with you guys. Yeah, when we do our next Eco Flag show. Yeah, so I'm really excited and looking forward to that. But I'm sure you've got some stuff coming up on your own channel as well, haven't you?
I've been a bit dry on my channel recently because it's an abscess. Every time I thought it's gone away, it's come back when I felt ready to do a video. But I'm not having any of it tomorrow. I'm taking the dog out and we're having a ramble. So for the first time in a few months, since the beginning of the summer, really, that we'll be doing a Friday ramble with the Muppet. So Billy, I hope you will be watching.
Friday ramble. What could possibly go wrong with a Friday ramble?
Yes. Oh yes, without a doubt.
There you go, guys. Alston here, one of our great moderators, has put links to Friday Frolics. Go on, Darren. What were you saying?
Oh no, I always enjoy his little rambles with his dog chasing the ball all over the place. Good fun.
My dogs are too old for anything like that nowadays.
She's 2 years old and she's a nutcase.
Oh, what an age!
Come here, Muppet. Oh, come here, Muppet.
But yeah, as I say, when it comes to my Friday Frolics, I am working on how to bring guests in, so we can have guests on a Friday Frolic. So
I would always be up for that, mate.
Yeah. So I will be sort of like badgering you, see if you guys want to come on for a Friday Frolic.
Well, you know where to find me, Darren, because I always send you good content. I need to send you another one of those Greek news articles again. That's what I need to do.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to them.
I need to find one again.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure you.
Oh, go on.
The woman who has the cross, she's brilliant, isn't she?
Oh, yeah. The Caroline Levitt impersonator as well, yeah. Guys, it goes because it keeps flopping here. Guys, thank you guys all for coming along. Really appreciate it. Guys, do check out all their YouTube channels. Just before I end the live stream, I'll be live again tomorrow. At 11 a.m. for another Good Morning Show if you guys want to join me for that. If not, I'll be back live again back on Monday with the usual time slots on the you can check them out on the front of my home tab as well there. And again, thank you guys all for coming along. Have a great evening, whatever you guys are doing. And hopefully we will see you all on Friday Frolics tomorrow at 5 o'clock, guys. Yes. But until then, take care, everyone, and have a good night. All right?